Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Person Behind the Persona. And today is a very special episode. We have with us someone that I'm really excited to talk about and talk to him about his company and everything. We have Amber from 656 Street. If you guys haven't heard of the company, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? But hey, Amber, how have you been, man? How have
What's
you
up,
been?
guys? All good, all good. Been running around, been trying to do things, trying to make
Yeah,
things happen.
right.
Right.
Please tell me.
I want you to tell the audience what 656 is. All right, let's start with that.
Okay, guys. 656 is a sportswear and a streetwear brand. So we started in about 2018 October. 2018 October is when we started, and essentially it came from me being an athlete. My sister and I we co-founded this company,
Right.
and I was a cricketer when I was young, and so that's where the want to work in the sports industry came from. And my sister was a basketball player.
Right.
So the idea with 656 Sport was to create teamwear for anyone and everyone.
Okay.
And if you played in your college team, अगर आप अपनी college की team में किसी school team में खेले हो, तो जो आपको jersey देते हैं मुझे वो बनानी थी because मेरे को जो मुझे मिलती थी वो कभी पसंद नहीं आई.
Right.
So that's where the want to start something like this came from, and we were in the right place at the right time. We had a good proposition, so we started off our company, and we within 3 months signed a contract with the Indian national football team,
Right.
be their official kitting partners.
Right. Right.
So
Which is great. So this happened very recently, I think.
2018 is when we signed the contract. 2019 Asia Cup is the first time 656 kits were put on by the national team.
Wow.
And day before yesterday is when we launched the next iteration of it.
Yeah,
So,
I just saw that. I just saw that you guys launched the new. It's the red pink jacket, right? Oh, sorry, jersey, right?
it's the blue and
Blue
the
and the-
blue and the white one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
That's
Oh
home
my
and away.
God.
So that we just launched that day before yesterday. But yeah, that's where our company started with, and that was a very good starting point for us because it gave us like almost overnight a lot more people knew about us as compared to before.
Right.
And since then, it's been just a growth process where we work with a couple of clubs in the ISL. We're working with smaller amateur level clubs as well, just because that's our mission to kind of expand and democratize kitting as a whole. And basically, Street started as a passion project. Right?
Okay.
It was we started sport, and then we said, listen, we don't want to make 656 Sport another company that just does everything.
Right.
So if we have a passion towards this kind of clothing and this kind of, the kind of products that we want to get,
Right.
let's start a different vertical around it and go from there.
Okay.
And so we just created we kept the same brand name. We created a different identity around it and started a different channel for it, started a different mode for it, and just launched. We just said one passion project. We just launched.
When
and
did
it
you
just
launch?
grew from there.
And when did you launch?
2019 May.
2019 May. And how have you been doing in 656 Street? Because that is what I'm more interested in.
Yeah, same.
It's
That's
been
how I
a-
discovered you.
It's been a while, right? Like in the year and a half or almost 2 years now that we've been operational. We've done a fashion show at Lakme Fashion Week in Mumbai.
Right.
We were chosen to go to Seoul DXB, which is a festival that happens in Dubai. And people, more than anything, more than all of that, I think just the response from people to our products and people wanting to wear them, wanting to buy them, wanting to represent them has been, I think that's been the biggest. It's been the biggest, most fulfilling thing for us across the board.
Right.
Because when you go out and you see your product being worn by someone you don't know in real life, I think that just that changes everything that you want to do and why you do it.
Tell me about
Right.
that. Tell me about that. Like, when was the first time you just went out and you just saw some random person out of nowhere wearing something from 656 Street? Do you remember that
Honestly,
incident?
I don't remember the first time. One of the times that I do remember it was a bad memory because it was one of our previous brands where I saw this guy wearing it. So this was before I started 656. We were doing something else before that.
Right.
So I saw this guy wearing a pair of shoes that we had made, and so I just asked him. I was like, "Oh, how are these shoes?" And he said, "घटिया है, मैं वापस कर रहा हूँ."
Oh my God. And then you, abhi recently 656 Street ke through bhi you launched another pair of sneakers recently.
We did. That was before. That was for Lakme Fashion Week. So उस जूते के around तो there's a whole world and story altogether. The shoe is called T-10 because it was made in 10 days.
Oh wow.
When we got selected for Lakme Fashion Week, they told us we can't have other brand shoes on the runway. Like we can't have logos and other stuff. And we said if we tape up the shoes, तो बहुत like it won't look good. So we just decided let's make a shoe.
So from scratch in 10 days
From scratch you made it a shoe in 10 days and it got sold out. It's not available on the site anymore.
No, it's not. We have a few pairs, but we don't sell them anymore.
That's insane. That's so cool.
In fact, one of the people we hired recently, she had bought the shoes before we knew her, and now she wears them to office, and I'm just like,
that's such a cool story to think about.
I have one question in regards to that. Like, usually, given that you are in some sense a designer brand, right? What is the process like? Like, as in, like, what is the timeline like when you starting from scratch and to the finish and getting it on the catalog? What is the timeline like?
So, I don't design. My sister, who is my co-founder, she is heading the design creative side. The timeline is usually depending on the kind of product that we're making and also what is the timing right for it or not. We don't work on like seasonal collections or any of that stuff.
Okay.
So we work is if there's something as an idea that appeals to us that we want to talk about, and we go out and create clothes around. We don't go out and say we have to make something because it's summer or we have to make something because it's winter.
Right.
If something appeals to us as an idea, as a concept, as something, as a story, is when we go out and say, okay, we'll design something around, or we'll create something around.
So talking about that, so मेरे को because मैं थोड़ा बहुत रहा हूँ hype culture में, not a lot, but like बहुत ऐसा on the surface level, मुझे पता है कि जो बड़ी companies रहती हैं, they follow trends, right? So how does a company, a business your size pick up on that trend? Like how do you कि हाँ ये होने वाला है, ये color अब pop करने वाला है?
We don't.
So
you do not. Like that's the difference between hype culture and what we're trying to build.
Right.
Hype is always going to be around in multiple different ways, and we're all going to like be around it. We're all going to fall for it at some point, and we're going to get away from it at some point also. The idea here is not to sell products, not to make products for the sake of making products and selling them. The idea is to create something that you are happy with and you are content with, and it's like a form of expression. Right. So if more people like that expression, more people buy your product, and that's what we try to build. So we've done about 6 drops so far in our lifetime. And last year we didn't do much. We didn't do a single drop except at the end of the year, November mein we did. पूरे साल हमने कुछ नहीं करा because it didn't make sense. And all of those 6 drops have been centered around different themes. So we started with something called the Global Traveler, which was basically around how people now consider travel as a necessity more than just मेरे को करना है.
Right.
It's become something that we experience or want to experience on a day-to-day basis. So, and that was something my sister and I felt very strongly about. So we made something around it. Then we spoke about humanity in the digital age, which is very Black Mirror-ish. The world that we live in is being run by digital machines like the ones that we are on right now. And the ones that influence our life in ways that we can't even fathom or imagine. Right. So and it just goes from there. The last one that we dropped was called Question Everything.
Right.
Which just in its statement itself is saying question everything that you see in your life as being more than just what is on the surface.
Right.
And that's the premise on which our entire brand is built. So we just decided to go ahead with that. And we have 5 different themes that we're working on right now. We don't know when we'll drop them. We don't know when we will, if we will at all. Like there's something about censorship that we've been talking about. There's something about radical optimism in a post-pandemic world where if that is something that we want to go with. So at any point in time, there are multiple things that we think about, we talk about.
Right.
We only do it if it really appeals to us.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So no trends. Doesn't that harm the business then?
my core business is 656 Sport, right?
Oh.
Streetwear is a form of expression.
Right.
My balance sheet is not on streetwear, not on 656.
Okay.
I all I want 656 Street to be is a form of expression, which, if more and more people get into, will become a huge business, a more booming business. It still makes us money, but I don't care about whether it makes me the million or not. That's something I will do with my other brand.
Okay.
Sport brand.
Okay. So, which is very interesting because like you said, that 656 Street is your passion project. So,
Yeah.
what I understand by that is you don't work on a time crunch for the
No.
what's the term you use? Drops. Can you just explain to the audience what a drop, when you say the term drop is? It's basically a new
Drop is basically a product drop.
product drop. Yes.
Yeah, essentially, like people call them collections or drops or
Right.
anything, capsules, whatever you want to call them.
Right.
But a drop is just a product drop that we do when we want to do it.
Okay.
The reason collection as a word was around like seasonality of fashion. So
Right.
seasonally, you had a collection, you had a summer collection, you had a winter, you had a spring, you had a festival season, all of that stuff.
Right.
So we wanted to stay away from the word, and we actually call them volumes. So volume 1.1, volume 1.2.
Okay.
It's like chapters in a book that we're
Right.
just writing
Right.
slowly and surely.
Right.
Right. So what are your thoughts on, like, okay, so this is I put up a story and I asked if the audience wanted to ask some question, and this one of the question really stuck out to me was ki, what are your thoughts on the t-shirts that are being sold on the local market that are plagiarized, like apna time aayega type t-shirt, and then there are some internet image utha ke paste kar di. So like what do you think about that?
Honestly, there's no way around it. In a country like India, plagiarism, fake, like jerseys ke fakes, all of that is going to be around no matter what you do.
Right.
And to be honest, at some level, it does dent regular businesses a lot. Like for me, if I'm spending the time, energy, money, effort into building something, conceptualizing something from scratch, and then someone just kind of rips it off and does their own thing. But I think we've just learned to live with it and be okay with what people do. I think being copied or counterfeited is a form of establishing yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you're at a point where someone has to copy you and make money off of it, then you made something. You made
Right.
something worthwhile. Because if
Right.
it wasn't worthwhile, no one would care to counterfeit it. So I live with it. It doesn't keep me up at night.
All right. So moving on from that, I'm a big into environment. 656 and दो चार ये भी मेरी girlfriend ने खरीदा है for my birthday. She saw me that I was on the क्या कहते हैं website a lot and she noticed and she bought that shit for me. But most of my clothes are thrifted. I try not to indulge into fast fashion scenes.
Right.
So I want to know what you guys are doing and how much do you like, are you guys taking steps towards not trying to indulge in fast fashion? What are your thoughts as a small business and everything around that?
If you could, Amber, introduce to the audience a little bit about what actually fast fashion is and what are its implications on the environment in general, whatever you think you can add.
So the concept of fast fashion is essentially every time you walk into a store, you see something new. So if you went this week and then you went next week, you would see something new. You would see something different. And the idea with that is just to induce as much consumption as possible.
Right.
Like whether or not you need those clothes, the idea is to convince you that you need them or want them. And so that is the concept of fast fashion. That is what brands like Zara and H&M and so on and so forth have made billions of.
Right.
Now, about the topic of sustainability, right? This is a debate I have with a lot of people.
Right.
And the debate is that fashion as a concept is not sustainable.
Okay.
Fashion, as its terminology, is not a sustainable thing for the human race. Every year, humans manufacture about 100 billion pieces of clothing.
100 billion.
100 billion every year on average. About 100 billion, which means for every person alive on this planet, we are making about 14 pieces of clothing. Every year.
Every year. Okay.
Every year.
Okay.
And so, at the end of it, fashion as a concept like is not sustainable for the planet. If you use sustainably sourced fibers, if you use any of that, it doesn't matter, because what you're doing, the planet does not need. Even if it's us, right? Like what we sell, whether it's sport or street, the planet does not need any more of it. There's enough people doing it. There's enough, like if you look at the equilibrium chart, right? We've already gone way past the equilibrium.
Right.
So we're at the point of no return on that chart.
Right.
So fashion as a concept will never be sustainable. The only way clothing will be sustainable is if you wear the same thing every day.
Right.
If you wear one suit every day till it wears out, and then you buy the same thing again
Right.
and wear it every day, is when fashion will be sustainable.
Okay.
Until that point, and then it's not fashion, then it's utility, then it's called uniform.
Yeah.
So it doesn't stay fashion then.
That is
It
the
just-
first thing which came into my mind. I was like, uniform hai to fir.
Exactly. Then it doesn't stay fashion. So the term fashion will never be sustainable, in my opinion. And people might disagree. People might say, you can be more sustainable. And I agree with that. In my opinion, what we do is we make products that last. Matlab, if you bought a sweatshirt from us, right? If you wear it, no matter how many times you wear it, no matter how long you keep it for, 5 years from now, 6 years from now, it will still be alive. It will still be worth wearing.
Okay.
That is what we do to contribute to our way of saying, make products that last. Don't make products that burn out in a month, in 6 months, and then you have to replace them.
Right.
So that's our way of doing it. The other thing that we do is we make sure whoever works with us is paid properly. We make like ethical use of manpower, of resources,
Right.
and so on and so forth. But in no real world is fashion going to be sustainable. What we do is not sustainable, as bluntly as possible. Even thrifting, right? Thrifting is what? Leftover clothes.
Right.
Yeah.
So technically, for leftover clothes to be there, new clothes have to be made.
Right.
So yes, you can say that by thrifting, you are being somewhat sustainable, or you're showing a finger to fast fashion. But it's fast fashion that seeps into thrifting, which is then required. If fast fashion didn't exist, you won't need thrifting. There would not be that market as a whole.
Right. Oh my
Can
God,
you tell us a little bit about how you started, like in the case of 656 Sport,
street or
in
just
the-
sport?
Sport specifically, you and your sister, how did you start?
How did you like got the contract? Like, walk us through the business process. You've already told us like how you
Usually people
got
have a
into
very
it.
vanity filled story of, we are sitting in our room and we're just discussing something, and then this is what we came up with, and the next day we started.
Honestly, no.
How was it?
The story is a little deeper than that. My family's business is apparel manufacturing.
Okay.
So we've been around this our entire life. Like we've seen rolls of fabric from the age of, मतलब 5 साल की उम्र से मेरे को, I know the apparel making process.
Right.
Oh.
Like I've seen the whole process through and through since
Right.
I was a kid.
Right.
So I knew, and when you're exposed to something at that young an age, right,
Right.
your mind works towards that.
Right. Sure.
So whenever you see an opportunity, you think of it from a perspective of how can I make the most of this opportunity using resources that I have.
Right.
So every time I saw something, मेरा दिमाग ऐसे चलता था कि how can clothes be related to this? So my first business, if you can call it, was I printed a bunch of T-shirts in school, college,
Yeah.
and sold them. Matlab, that was like I did that. And they weren't legal. Like I was a lot more into electronic music at that time.
Right.
So artists really appealed to me, and none of their merchandise was available here.
Right.
So I just bootlegged the shit out of it and sold it through Flipkart,
Yeah.
Amazon, all of these guys.
Oh.
मैंने
Oh.
कुछ 2,000-2,500 पीस बनाए थे और सारे बेच दिए, like all of that stuff. So that's where that started. But sports was always a big part of my life. It still is. I watch Test cricket now. I don't watch any other forms of cricket. Just मेरा मन नहीं करता. But I watch Test cricket. Football is something that I will stay up late at night to watch. United का mug use कर रहा हूँ. So like football, sports has always been a big part of my life, and that's also been because my family, like हमारे लिए एक Sunday होता था, हम Wimbledon देख रहे होते साथ में.
Right. Right.
So that's something that has always seeped into my life.
Right.
And that's where the idea for this came from. Like बचपन में जब हम sports खेलते थे और गंदी जर्सी पहन के खेलते थे, जो मजा नहीं आता था. is where it came from. Ki, yaar, let's do something about it. Let's create something which people are happy wearing, proud of wearing. Because at the end, you're representing a bigger purpose than just yourself, right?
Yes, yourself. Yes, of
Representing a
course.
school, a college, a team, a club, a country. Like all of those are higher level objectives than just your goal. So you should feel pride when you wear that, and you should be happy with what you're wearing.
Right.
So that's where the idea for that came from. And before this, we had another sportswear business which shut down, which gave us the experience to actually start this.
Oh.
So I always knew I was going to be connected to the sports industry in some way, shape, or form. And when I quit playing cricket, which was when I was 17, it was a hard decision to make, but it needed to happen. So that's when I knew I was always going to be connected to the sports industry and I want to give back to it because it's made me who I am today.
Right.
So that's how we started.
Interesting. So, but have you been podcast se pehle Rav asked you, how much are you on the internet?
How much am I in I think
for work.
Work makes sure that I'm always on the internet, right? There's always, so even till date, if you message any of our business pages, there's a high chance that either me or my sister will reply. Because we really like to stay connected with what people are saying. And if they have feedback, comments, suggestions, anything, whether it's good or bad, we want to make sure that people actually, we're connected to them. We know what they're thinking so that we can always keep on improving. So work keeps me on the internet. Otherwise, I don't. I try to stay away. I think...
I'm not into the whole YouTube merchandise scene that has been coming up recently? No? Oh, I have a great story for you then. So, India mein to abhi tak itna nahi aaya hai, but I feel like aayega, and that's why I was very excited to talk to you about, but we'll get to it later on. West side pe, a lot of, pehle it started off just like, मैं यूट्यूबर हूँ, मैं वीडियोस बनाता हूँ, मेरे को थोड़ा एक्स्ट्रा पैसा चाहिए, इधर मैंने लोगो डाल दिया, ये लो टी शर्ट खरीद लो, ठीक है, ये नॉर्मल रहता था. Recently, in the past, let's say, I guess 5 years, the YouTubers have actually decided to go in on this and create their own label of clothing.
The bigger YouTubers, like the big names.
Yeah, I know about that. Like business wise, I definitely know about. Basically, it's almost like influencer-led clothing, right? And that's something that's been around for a very long time. Even in India today, today you'll find brands which are on Flipkart and Myntra, which are just influencer-led. Like HRX started as a Hrithik Roshan's brand.
Right.
Even like Tiger Shroff had a brand. A lot of these guys, even a lot of smaller influencers have now tied up and are doing this. I personally feel like, if I can be brutally honest.
Right. Sure.
Trash. I hate it.
Okay.
Really?
And I'll tell you why.
Yes, please.
Products are not meant to just be products. They're like t-shirt ही है. Uska, you cannot change left or right around it. The only reason why people buy the things that they do is because of what they say, what they speak to the consumer. Right. So if most people who just do this are just flashing their name on top of it and trying to sell it using that.
Right.
And वो मेरे को बिल्कुल नहीं पसंद. So I genuinely, so far, whoever we have tried to, during the lockdown, what we did was we did a design contest on our channel.
Right.
Where we said, एक काम करो, ये रहा एक template, तुम design करो, हम 4 लोगों की t-shirt बनाएंगे, बेचेंगे, ठीक है? And it happened. We got 120 entries in a week. And we made 4 t-shirts. We sold over 200 pieces of people. People had designed those things using our collateral, using our ideology and our manufacturing. People designed those. And then people were involved. जो vote process था उसमें, we got 5,000 votes on one of the designs. कि ये बनाओ. So that process, because that was a story. Imagine like any creator sitting at home gets an opportunity to create a product with a brand, and it actually gets made and they get shipped a piece which is theirs to keep.
Right.
That's a story.
Right.
But just creating a product for the sake of creating a product is just something that blows my mind. Like मेरे को समझ नहीं आता.
Right.
Now, so that's the thing. That's the thing that a lot of मतलब पहले कैसा था? It's a cash cow. But now, जैसे मैं YouTuber and मेरे को fashion भी पसंद है. Now I've launched my own thing, and now it has gotten like it's their own subculture of क्या कहते हैं the whole क्या कहते हैं fashion culture. Where there's this guy called Calix. He's a UK based YouTuber. He's not that huge, 3 million subscribers right now. What he did was he launched his own sneaker brand, right? And he has only launched 2 iterations of it at this moment.
What's the
A
name?
white Callux, Callux. The sneaker brand names is Not Two Ways, not TWOWAYS ways. And he has launched 2 iteration of it, a black and a white.
Right.
And both of them sold out under a minute.
Right.
And that so that I feel like ये पूरा scene India में भी आने वाला है. And I personally am very intrigued by it because मुझे भी ऐसा कुछ करना है.
So this is, I'll tell you the difference between what this is. I just looked it up right now.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you the difference between what this is and what
Yeah.
people usually do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Please.
This is a story that is being told through product.
Right.
This is a product which is designed, made in good quality materials,
Right.
made in a way that is something different from what already exists. Like मैं भी जूता देख रहा हूँ.
Yeah.
I would love to wear it because it's good. It's good quality. I don't know the pricing, if the pricing was decent or not.
It's a $150. It's a quite expensive.
For a shoe, it's not. It's not bad.
For
at
a
all.
shoe, 150 is not.
it's
Not
not
even in
bad.
India, it's
Like,
not.
If I had a chance to buy this for $150 as compared to buying a pair of any other more mass-produced brand,
Yeah.
I would rather go with
Yeah.
this.
Same.
Right? So this is something that is a whole different process, and a lot of people are doing it properly.
Yeah.
I'm not saying everyone who's doing it is doing it in a trash can.
Yeah.
There's a guy whose name is Seth Fowler. I don't know
Okay.
if you heard of him.
Let me
He's
just
a
Google
YouTuber
him real
again.
quick.
And he worked with this brand based out of Portugal called We Are Underdogs.
Okay.
And We Are Underdogs is a creator-led brand. मतलब वो अपना कुछ नहीं बनाते. They work with independent creators
Yeah.
and create shoes.
It's like Fanjoy. It's like fanjoy.com.
No, very different.
Very
Because
different?
they actually make, like they work with designers. They work with footwear designers.
Right.
Okay.
Independent footwear designers to make shoes with them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking
And
at the
that
shoe
is
right now.
incredible because it's making that process happen for independent designers who would otherwise have to go and work at Nike or Adidas
Yeah.
or
Right.
any
Yeah.
of these other guys to make that
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
So the people who are doing it well, people who are telling the story properly, are doing a really good job. But most of it, I would say 80% of it, what I've seen, is just
Yeah.
trash.
So that is what I was thinking about. Okay, I don't think most of the creators in India, if they are releasing merch, they are doing it in the sense ki, acha, they have a set of designers, proper designers in the back who are listening to their story and coming up with ideas, right?
Right.
Most of it is somebody.
It's plagiarism. It is
sorry,
straight-
sorry to bring a callback on this, but like something in the lines of.
Mumbai ka Nikhil.
No, something in the lines of doing using Photoshop and just pushing
yeah.
that logo in and
Yeah.
trying to sell it as
Yeah.
soon as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, like there are a few artists, like not YouTubers, not people who just create content, but there are a few artists who are doing some really cool things and slowly building up to it. They're not just going out on day one and saying, "Ye lo meri t-shirt khareed lo."
Right.
Correct.
They're genuinely slowly and surely building up and doing something which is worthwhile.
Right.
And at the end of the day, the product speaks for itself.
Right.
One of the bigger problems, or I would say the drawbacks, is that average purchasing power in India is very low, right? So if you're a YouTuber who has say 1 million subscribers or 1 million people who really care about what you do, maybe like 900,000 of them have a purchasing power less than 500 rupees for a t-shirt.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
So maybe even more. But so that's the problem. So what these people try to do is they try to create merch which is made for 200 rupees, sold for 500 rupees, and quality just goes for a toss. So they can't invest much on design, on quality, because margins aren't there. And when margins aren't there, then you can't pay money from your own pocket to do merch. So
That's
So
the biggest problem. Yeah.
so capturing that market is hard,
Right.
and you're competing with all of the t-shirt brands in the world. Like
Right.
Right.
many, you lose count by the time you get to it. There's so many that exist who are just printing on t-shirts. तो ब्लैंक टी-शर्ट अगर आप बांग्लादेश से लो वो $1 की बनती
अच्छा.
Hmm.
Okay.
है। 75 रुपए की अगर आप 10,000 पीस खरीद सकते हो तो 75 रुपए की टी-शर्ट आपको मिल जाएगी।
हाँ.
अब उस पे आपने जो छापना है छापो,
जो
और
मार्जिन रखना है रखो एंड सेल इट.
जो छापना है आप whatever you want to print on it, you print and sell.
Right.
Right? So that is the model that a lot of these people are following, which is blanks. They keep blanks in 7 different colors.
Right.
Whatever design they come up with, they just print on it and it goes out.
Right.
And that is the concept. Like that is literally the heart of fast fashion, which is
Yeah.
this mindless consumption, right?
But I agree. Yeah.
And a lot of people partner with these very companies to create merch with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll see, and like you Google online and you'll see a lot of different artists or different companies who are doing this.
Aukas and I are having a smile on our faces because we have 2-3 names in our head and we just are deciding whether we should drop those names in the
No,
podcast or not.
I'll tell you a story, Amber. This is how I started.
I don't want to hate on anyone, yaar. वो मेरा, like, that's never my purpose.
Right, right.
I never
No,
want to.
you don't have to worry, Amber. We are dropping names. You're not dropping any names. You'll just
No. So I'll tell you what happened. Okay, I'll just tell you what happened. You don't have to even react to it. Okay. So there's this YouTuber called Mumbaikar Nikhil. He's pretty famous. He's a good guy. I'm not saying he's a bad person. He's a good guy. But this is what happened. He launched his own T-shirt. I saw it. I was like, I myself have worked in like designing and editing and all that creative stuff, Photoshop, just drawing. I'm a creative person, bachpan se. So I saw the T-shirt and I was like, I've seen these designs somewhere. Where are these designs from? And ultimately, these designs were either from Pinterest or these were stolen from artists who didn't even know that their design was being stolen. I contacted them. I asked them that, is this happening? Do you know that? Did you get paid for it? Like, no, I didn't get paid for it. And I talked about this. My video got struck down. I wasn't like, मेरी video को ban कर दिया गया था. The video hasn't come up till now, till this date. So that happened. So there is this, what you said is happening on a very frequent basis on like in Indian YouTube scene.
Right.
But I feel like it's going to change.
Honestly, guys, I'll tell you, like, it will change when the people who are creating these things will change.
Correct.
It's not so. There are hard decisions that you make, and there are easy decisions that you make. Easy decisions lead to a hard life, and hard decisions lead to an easy life.
बिल्कुल सही.
So the easy decision is छापो और बेचो. The hard decision is time लगाओ, थोड़ा दिमाग डालो, actually सोचो करना है कि नहीं करना, if it's worth doing or not worth. And think of the larger repercussions of it, whether this will even make sense. Because when you don't, is when you come up with a product which you're not happy.
Right.
And वो सबके साथ होता है. Like it's happened with us. जो मैंने jacket पहनी है, we never released it to the public. ये सिर्फ we've never released it to the public because I am still not happy with the quality of where we're at.
Okay.
So just then we'll be happy is when this will release.
Okay.
I'm still not happy with a bunch of things that I'm wearing. This is a sample. This is a piece that I'm wearing. So when we're happy with it is when it'll go out to the public. So it's about being able to say no frequently.
Given that you have said that, Amber, a very quick question on that, in the sense ki, how much of your product lineup is shelved? Because you, like you said, last year you hardly dropped any.
60%.
60% is shelved.
60%.
You just shelf it.
When we design maybe 80 to 100 different designs, and then we select 15
out of
or 20.
80 to 100 in a year.
No, in every collection.
In every collection, okay.
And on an average, how much collection do you drop a year?
Very less.
It just depends. Honestly, I can't tell you. It's only been a year and a half, so anyway, there's no average. But 3, 4, 2, 5, I don't know. When we have things to talk about is when we do it.
Right.
When we don't have things to talk about, we don't do it. Nahi karte.
Right.
And to be honest, it's like the reason why, like with sport, we have a lot of things to talk about at all times. There's
Right.
something
हाँ,
other
बिल्कुल
going
सही.
on. We have partnerships, so that's why we sell those products, because people want those products.
Right.
When I'm doing 656 Street, it's an expression. It's our art form.
Right.
It's our way of expressing ourselves out to the world. It's our way of, whether it's protest, whether it's striking a conversation, creating a conversation. Our pieces, whatever we create, is meant
Right.
to spark a conversation between the person who's wearing it and the person who sees the other person
Yeah.
wearing it.
Right.
Yeah.
If we're able to do that, well and good. We created a jacket this one time which said "Boring humans wear this."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It literally says "Boring humans wear this," and it's sold out. Matlab,
Yeah.
it's completely sold out.
Yeah.
And the reason why people bought it is because it said something which is so unconventional that started a conversation.
Yeah.
Because the person who's wearing that jacket is definitely not boring because he's
Yeah.
wearing that jacket.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So it's about playing on those like the moments of irony that we have in our everyday life.
Right. Right.
And a lot of different other factors which go into when we design, when we create, what we do, how we do it.
How much are you a part of the design process? Like in the entire design process for 656 Street?
Yeah. I know Avni.
Yeah, she heads it. I personally, I am only a part of the process on the initial bit.
Right.
So when we're deciding what we're going to be doing is when I'm a part of that process.
Right.
After that, I take a step back, and then at the end of it, when we have to do our final selections, is when I jump back in and say, okay, this or that,
Right.
and then we go ahead with it.
Right.
So otherwise, dhanda chalana hai. So that's what I'm
right.
focusing on.
Right. You're completely based out of Gurugram. You and your entire team.
We're based out of, like, I live in Delhi. Our manufacturing is in Noida, and my office is now in Delhi. Earlier, we had an office in Gurgaon, but 2019 we started shutting that down. Then pandemic happened, and we shut down that office completely.
Right.
So now the store that we launched, FTC,
Right.
which you know about, is where I sit. We've created a small office on the roof.
Right.
So that's where
So it's completely
tell me
completely in-house then.
Yeah.
How much of your team has grown over the last 1.5 years? If you
we
can.
started with 3 people,
You.
4 people.
4 people.
Yeah. So me, my sister, a product developer, and a finance guy.
Right.
And today we employ about 32 people.
Right.
Oh wow, that's pretty decent. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, salary dete समय पता चलता है.
So, but okay, tell me about FTC. What it is like? What are you doing with it? I know that तुम थोड़ा like ऐसा pop shop करके you're kind of जो छोटे designers हैं उनको भी अंदर लेके आ रहे हो.
Right.
But tell me a bit about it.
And how did you come up with it?
FTC, yeah. To be honest, it's been brewing in our heads for almost 2.5 years now.
Right.
मतलब दिमाग में चल रहा था 2.5 साल से.
Right.
And the idea with it was, personally, when I went to college abroad. I was in LA for 4 years for my undergrad, and I was lucky enough to have that opportunity. But being there really like opened up a lot of perspective in my head about what is out there that I was not exposed to before.
Right.
And so coming back here and seeing none of that subculture here yet is where the idea sprung from. And FTC means for the culture, right? So that the name actually came from a joke that my sister and I had, and it just like that joke, that name, that phrase stuck around. I don't know if you remember, 2.5 साल पहले, a lot of people used to use the phrase a lot. Why do you do
It's
X?
for the culture.
I do it for the culture.
Yeah.
Right? So that's where the phrase is from, and that was the joke that my sister and I had with our parents. Like anything mom could ask, and I would say for the culture.
Right.
So anything. Why are you wearing X clothes? For the culture. Why did you not eat food? For the anything, like anything that she could ask, and I could have this answer.
Yeah.
So from there, the name stuck, and then when we were actually working on the concept, the idea was we wanted a store for 656 Street, right?
Right.
And then we said, why just limit ourselves to that? Why just create a standalone store and put all of that financial pressure on one brand that we want to do expressionism with? So the idea then expanded to, there is not a single store in India that does what we do, which is curates a lot of Indian brands, a lot of international brands, sneakers, other different things that are part of this subculture, like an event space, all of that,
Right.
into one house
Right.
that everyone can be in.
Right.
And so that idea developed into what it is today. And today we sit in a 3-story building in the heart of Delhi, which has retail space, which has an event space. We
Yeah.
do a bunch of events with upcoming artists, rappers.
Teesri Duniya did it.
Yeah, Teesri Duniya did a listening session. That was our first ever event.
Yeah.
We've done a spit doping listening party.
Yeah.
And so it's just about like all of these artists deserve a space to be able to express themselves.
Correct.
And
That's what we wanted to build.
your podcast
It was
is
for
also
us.
based out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was for us, and it was for everyone else who wanted to do it. And
Right.
and so all of the brands that came on board did not have their own stores. All of the brands that are here can do whatever they want here. This is like an extension of their store. It's their house.
Right.
We just curate it. अगर आप बाहर आओगे कभी बिल्डिंग के तो it literally says बड़ा बड़ा house for all, and that's what we want to stand by. It is a house for all, whether it's music, whether it's art, whether it's fashion, whether it's anything. If you want to express, this is a space for you.
How huge is the culture? You talked about कि market क्या कहते हैं buying power इतना नहीं है.
Right.
And you guys create more on the like थोड़ा expensive.
On a
side.
you price it at a premium, right?
Yeah.
But you sell out very fast.
Yeah. How huge is that culture?
What?
In India, a niche is big enough.
Okay.
Oh.
Like in our country, a niche is big enough for it to be an industry in itself. Just
Yeah, you're
sheer
right.
population, sheer
Yeah.
numbers, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's about being able to reach that niche, which is the hardest part. So I won't say we've capped or tapped our potential to our fullest yet, and I think it's growing. More and more people are, as you said, moving away from fast fashion, adopting products that are of quality. And we try to provide that. All of the brands that I hear do exactly that. They don't make clothing for the sake of it. They make clothes, they make shoes that last, that stay, that you can wear for years, that you can hand down to people who can then wear them for years.
Right.
Right.
And that is the idea. You've bought something from us today, right? 5 years from now, you'll still be able to wear it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is what I stand for. Like whether or not it's in trend, I cannot say. Whether or not you will be happy wearing it, that I can say. Because the quality is what I can stand.
Yeah.
Right.
So and that's with all of the brands. That's our curation. That's what we make sure that the brands that are here in the space, whether it's clothing or it's footwear, are brands that you can stand by when it comes to quality.
Yeah. So okay, so this is a personal question. मेरी ये जो podcast है इस मैं guest को इसके लिए लाता हूँ क्योंकि मैं curious हूँ कि मैं कैसे ये कर सकता हूँ जो ये लोग कर रहे हैं, right? So मैं YouTube के बारे में तुमको इसके लिए बताया कि क्योंकि मुझे मेरी story बतानी है. You know what I'm trying to say? I wanna give people. This has been a very driving force for me. I see something that does not exist that I want. I'm like, all right, I'll make it. So right now I see like there is no good merch stuff, you know, no good क्या कहते हैं a gateway for people to discover their own style. इस जाओ यहाँ पे stall लगा है खरीद लो. There is, and I feel like in the new age, people like me, even though I'm not huge, if I were to be, will have some sort of this influence that I will be able to guide people to that sense, right? And I want to do something like that. I want to start someday, some way, maybe. Hopefully collaborate with you. That would be a dream come true. But if I were to, where do I start?
You start by not thinking about it.
Oh.
Don't think about the merch for a minute. As I told you, right? If you care about sustainability, if you care about being good to the planet, so don't think about merch. People don't need it. In terms of clothing, right? And whoever I have this discussion with, I tell them, don't think about making clothes if you're an artist, if you're any sort of creator, anything. Let it happen. Make it okay. So make it for yourself. Wear it. Make it for yourself and wear it. And then if people ask you about it, then if people say, hey bro, I want what you're wearing, where can I get it? is when then you think about, okay, let me try and make a few pieces and see how it goes. Don't think about it from that perspective कि मेरे को merch बनाना है और मेरे को ये बनाना है. अपने लिए बनाओ. जो भी बना रहे हो, imagine करो, ये assume करो कि आप बेचने के लिए नहीं बना रहे, आप अपने लिए बना रहे हो. और उसके बाद if you see people responding to that, then go ahead and try making it. Don't make it.
Is there any backstory behind what you just said? Have you ever like made merch for yourself and people have asked you in some sense?
Bro, our brand, like, it grew because of that.
What do you mean?
Our brand grew because whatever I made, whatever we made, I just used to wear that. And then people used to ask me, ये कहाँ से है?
कहाँ से लिया?
Okay.
And then whoever started wearing it, people used to ask them, ये कहाँ से लिया?
Yeah, that happened with me because like I was wearing your 656 trouser. I was roaming around the streets with my girlfriend, and my friend asked me like, "Yo, where did you get this from?" Yeah.
That is the strongest driving force for anything. Whether it's a brand, whether it's a video, whether it's any idea, like ideas spread through what? People talking to each other.
Right.
And that stays the same for anything. Matlab, whether it's products, whether it's stores, anything spreads because people talk about it.
Right.
And people talk about it by looking at it or being exposed to it in some way, shape, or form.
Right. Right.
So that's where my ideology on this comes from. Because so a lot of artists reach out to us to talk about merch and creation and all of that. And we only work with the people that we can get on the same page. Like people who we align with. And all those people, the first thing I tell them is, if you're doing this because you think you can make money from this, mat karo. If you're thinking right now that this is an additional revenue stream that will give you a lot of money, do not try it.
Why?
Do not try to capture the mass market right now. Do what you like, yaar. Just like, for example, if you want to get into the fashion space, create stuff for yourself first, na?
Correct.
Like if you're trying to sell stuff, first create stuff for yourself. That's why a lot of brands which are endorsed by a lot of big people don't work, because people are like, ye kabhi ye use nahi karega. He will never use this. He or she will never wear what they're selling.
Right. Right.
So first create for yourself. If you're happy with it, then try selling.
And how do I do that? How do I create for myself? Just like घर पे बैठ के, mix and match.
Bro, tell me one thing. आपने YouTube जब शुरू करा,
हाँ.
कैसे करा?
Yeah, I just started filming.
No, you also looked at a lot of videos. You saw the process.
You Googled, right? You said how do I start a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do I create clothes? Google करो. Find a manufacturer. Office जाके बैठ जाओ. बोलो भाई मेरे को 2 पीस बनाने हैं. बना के दो. पैसे लेंगे ना. 500 की जगह 1000 रुपए ले लेगा. बड़ा बना लोगे. You will make it happen.
Right.
There is no formula to starting except starting. कर लो.
Yeah.
Like that's all.
Your responses are very interesting. I didn't expect you to like make me go, yeah, I never thought about it like that. But
Tell us, Amber, a little bit about given the 1.5 years of 656, you have had some great responses. What are the struggles you've had?
Yeah.
The biggest
Everything, bro. Every day. So running any business is not an easy task, but and for us it's the same. Like every day you're faced with 100 questions that you have to answer, and 100 different forces pulling you in different directions.
What do you mean?
So
can you elaborate on that?
Do I want to make more? Do I want to make less? Do I want to work with X person? Do I want to work with Y person?
Right.
My production is having problem. How do I solve it? My printing is not great. How do I make it better? X, Y, Z, A, B, C. One of my employees has an issue. He or she is not coming. There are problems that you have to answer every day.
Right.
Questions that you have to problems that you have to solve. Questions that you have to answer every day.
Right.
So every day is a struggle. The biggest struggle initially for us was finding the right people to come on board to join the team.
Right.
That was one of the biggest struggles, and thankfully now we've created a hiring process which is very unique because it's inbound. We don't go out looking for people; people come looking for us, and that's been great because we just put out a post here and there,
Right.
and then people message us. We get like 50, 100 responses, and the way initially we were spending a lot of time doing interviews, with so many people.
Right.
And we realized that before even looking at like a resume or CV, the first thing to do is sort that out. Whether a person is a cultural fit or not is the first and foremost priority.
Right.
So we created a set of questionnaires that they have to answer before we even talk to them.
Mm.
So those questionnaires, once they answer, one is qualitative, one is quantitative. Then they answer that, then we get on the hiring process.
Okay.
So it's like a lot of things that we have learned along the way, which help us now. And those are problems that we try solving. But the biggest thing is managing time. That's my biggest struggle. Managing, like I was late today, right? I was half an hour late today. Managing my time has become the biggest struggle because when you start growing, there are so many things that you are so many questions that need to be answered. People who are new need to be guided. All of those things keep on happening. So managing time has been the biggest like struggle for me, which I'm still trying to get to.
Right.
Damn. Well, this has been a very like intriguing podcast to me. I've learned a lot.
We have never had anyone from such a vastly
side.
different domain on the podcast, and it was a very happy surprise to have you. Amber, like, very
I'm
honestly.
glad, yeah. I'm glad you guys called me, and honestly, I hope I didn't sound too preachy or too like.
No,
not at all.
not at all.
Not at all.
Oh my God.
But I just speak from what I feel about it. I am.
Yeah.
This is. मतलब I'm 24 years old. तो जितना पता है उतना ही पता है. But the one thing that I deeply care about is doing what we do as well as possible, and actually creating value for the people who are putting their time and money into it.
Right.
Right? It's all of the people that are working here with us. We don't call them employees. They work with us. They're our partners. They're in this together.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the idea here is just to create as much value for them as possible, for them to have a good balance in their life, for them to enjoy the work that they do, and for us to also enjoy the work that we do.
Right.
Because everything else will happen, yaar. Money will come. All of that will work out. Ho jayega. But if you're not happy doing what you do for half your life,
Right.
half your waking day is spent in work, right?
Right.
Right.
That means half your life. Like 8 घंटे अगर तुम सो रहे हो, तो that doesn't count as you like living.
Right.
That's you sleeping.
Right.
So if half your life is spent in work, then you rather enjoy it. Otherwise,
Yeah.
there's no point.
Yeah.
Right.
Otherwise, you're just doing things to get fiat currency, money, and then spend that on things which you don't care about, and then going in that cycle over and over and over.
Right. Right.
So, of course, make money. Make money doing what you like. Don't just
Right.
make money for the sake of making money.
Right.
So that's the philosophy that we try to live by here and we try to go with. And abhi main bilkul, I'm broke, yaar. I'm broke as hell. COVID has been fucking hard on everyone and it's been hard on us. But thankfully, we didn't have to let anyone go. We've retained all of our employees. In fact, we've hired more. And so that's just something that we want to make sure that we keep doing is as many people as are required are here. They're paid fairly. They enjoy the work that they do, and we just keep doing what we do. So that's what my life is about, and that's probably what my life is going to be about in the future.
Amber, I wanted your introspection on this one particular question I have. Given that you have said that fashion in itself is not sustainable, and you also make sure that you don't drop a product just for the sake of dropping it. What can we do as creators who would for whatever reasons want to let's say create our own merch, or how do we propagate the idea that okay, don't buy merch just for the sake of buying it? What can we do from our sides?
Firstly, don't produce anything until you have orders for it. Don't oversupply. Don't make stock and keep it with you.
Right.
Create a sample. Whoever wants to buy it, set up a pre-order timeline. Tell them it's going to take 4 weeks for you to get them their product. Be open and transparent and honest about it.
Right.
That is one thing that I would highly recommend.
Right.
Because what people do is to maximize their sales. They say, let's make it because people want instant gratification.
Right.
So bana ke rakh liya and then you sell it. So that's one thing. And this is a mistake I'm telling you from what we made in the past is we oversupplied some of our stock and then, like got stuck with it, still have some of it left over. Didn't want to do that. So now even though our stuff sells out, we are okay with it selling out because there is potential sales that we're losing out if it sells out. But we're okay with it because we don't keep oversupply with us.
Correct.
So that's one thing. Second thing I would say is only create stuff that you think people need. Matlab, at the end of the day, what we try to create is different silhouette, different things which we don't see in the world. So only create stuff that people people would need and would be happy to wear, not just once or twice, but for a longer period of time. So as long as you ensure that, right, like, and quality product, that is a given. Like make product that's of good quality. Don't make, like if you buy an H&M t-shirt, it runs out after 5 washes.
Yep, pretty much.
It's done. Shrink ho jayegi, print bleed ho jayega, so on and so forth. But if you're creating a product, make something that you know will last, will stay around. And that's all. Like no one can stop you from creating product. That's your right. That's all of us right. We do it. We know it's not the most sustainable thing in the world, but we still do it. And that's just the sad reality of capitalism and the world that we live in, is that for you to survive, you have to sacrifice something, whether it's natural resources, whether it's your time, whether it's whatever.
Right.
So that's the world that we live in. I don't think any of us can change that. So create whatever you have to create, but create only if you think it'll actually survive. It'll last for a longer period of time.
One last question. In fact, I think it's not the last question, but like I think Opus will ask you something. But have you ever, given that you have tapped into a niche market, I'm not sure about your competition, but have you ever faced any issues in relation to undercutting? In
terms of pricing?
In terms of pricing, if somebody undercuts you, you have never
thought about
it. Okay.
Honestly, if I had to think about competition,
right,
none of the brands that are in my store would be here.
Right.
Because technically they're competitors, right? They're all streetwear brands.
Right.
There is no competition today. All of the brands that are here are saying different things, telling different stories.
Right.
Products might be similar. Like you sell a hoodie, I sell a hoodie. Right? You sell a t-shirt, I sell a t-shirt. Right. So technically, in the conventional world, that's competition. But in our world, that's not competition. Your hoodie tells a very different story from my hoodie.
Right.
Someone might resonate with yours, someone might resonate with mine. Why would I consider that as competition?
Right.
Got it.
We all grow if we grow together, right?
Right.
That's like, if I want to keep this all for myself, it's never going to last.
Right.
Let's just everyone grow. If we can create a space for everyone to grow, it'll be nothing better. And more brands will come into the frame. More such spaces will open, and in fact, they should.
Right.
More such spaces should be accessible to people everywhere. Like today, an artist wanted to do a listening session. Imagine like how hard it would otherwise be to just do a listening session, finalizing a venue, doing all of that. With us, it was just like, let's hear your music. If we like it, let's do it.
Right.
Because that's what I care about. Like we'll monetize it. We'll find ways to monetize it. Kar lenge kuch na kuch. We'll sell something. We'll do whatever. But that's the main purpose, to have that happen, to have such conversations happen within the space.
Right.
Otherwise, we're all just we're all just slaves to capitalism, selling things that no one wants.
Right. Wow.
If you're creating conversations and if you're creating real world impact, like that, like you spoke about Teesri Dunya previously, right?
Yeah.
I did not know Karun, the guy from Teesri Dunya, until 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago. I had no idea who he was. I did not know him. Reached out to me through a mutual friend, sent me his album. I heard it. I said, bro, tu aur kahin nahi karega, tu yahin karega.
Yeah. So good. So
incredible stuff. Firstly, incredible stuff. Secondly, for him, for his album to reach 100,000 streams in a month, I am beyond happy that we were able to host.
Yeah.
Because that is like real art going out in the world, being heard by people, being accepted by people, and I'm happy we played a small part in that.
Right.
if we were able to give that a sense of legitimacy by providing a space, nothing like it. मतलब मेरे को और कुछ चाहिए ही नहीं इस जगह से.
Right.
It's just if you're able to create conversations that create real world impact, that's all.
Well, that has been it. I don't have any more questions. I've been very, very, very glad to have you on. This has been one of my favorite shows, and I look
I
forward.
hope
to
it didn't
talking to
sound much like an interview because I have been asking questions rigorously to Amber. I'm like, should I ask him one more question? Should I ask him one more
Arey,
question?
go for it, yaar.
No, I'm done. I'm very happy with whatever I got.
Okay,
you.
great.
Yeah, man, that has been it. Thank you so much. Oh,
Thank you, guys.
before you go, just if you have anything to talk about, if you want to promote anything, if you want to just let the people know, please go ahead.
All I would want to say is, guys, grow together, grow with people, create good things, and create things which you care about before thinking about whether it will sell or not. Whoever it is, whoever ends up listening to this, वो करो जो actually करने में मजा आता है यार, और कुछ मत करो. Because if you do that, you will end up like whatever you end up making,
You'll be happy.
you will be very happy with it.
Yeah.
Because even if that scale is 1/10 of what it could be if you did the other thing, you'll be happy with where you are
Right.
at that.
Right.
So that's all I want to say. Don't want to promote anything here. I think whoever likes our work will find us in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
And we're here. We're here for the long run. We're here to last. We're here to stay.
Big one.
So whoever finds out, whoever thinks about us, talks about us, will find our work and will come by and visit at some point. So that's all. All kuch
All
nahi.
right. Thank you so much for coming on, Amber. This has
Thank
been
you.
it. I've said it
Thank
like
you guys.
three times.
Thanks a
now.
lot. Thank you for putting up with me. Thank you for.
It was a breeze. It was an absolute breeze
Yeah.
talking to you, Amber.
Thank you guys. I had a lot of fun. I think this was a fun chat.
Yeah.
Thank
I'm
you so much.
looking-
Yeah.
I'll be coming to Delhi in February or March. I would love to meet you in person and talk
Please,
about this
please.
stuff once again.
At any point in time. I work out of here 7 days a week, pretty much. So at any point in time, feel free to drop by, and you'll find me here somewhere in some paperwork doing something.
All right. See you, man. Thank you so much for having.
Perfect. Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much. Bye-bye.
Yes. Bye.